What we're hearing is some are going to no-show. And then they said to the ones, I guess the leadership is saying, no, you should show up, but you should bring somebody. You should bring somebody who will make a point. Well, by the way, like, is that a thing? I don't remember, like, the Congress members ever bringing a guest. Isn't it just the president who brings a guest and puts them up in the First Lady's box? Or is it a thing for all the congressmen to do it?
The Congress people have been bringing, they usually have a one spot and they will do theatrical things. Thomas Massey brought someone last year, I forget who, but it was kind of on some point. I think the problem is that Democrats are just not as good at like troll culture as Republicans. And I don't say that necessarily as a compliment to Republicans. I kind of wish that we would go to a different place in our governing universe than trolling all the time. But Democrats, I mean, what did they do? They all wore white a couple years ago or several times in the past. I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of Handmaid's Tale thing. There was talk of like, oh, they're going to bring a fired government federal employee to sit next to them. And I might, if I knew more federal employees, I might know someone that would be personally sad about. But like, this is just not going to resonate with anyone, really. Like, oh my God, they fired a federal employee. That's not really going to get the job done.
Oh, and by the way, there's talk about some. This literally was in one of the reports today about wearing the pink pea hats. Some are going to wear the pink pea hats. I mean, yes, that's in one of the reports today. I don't know whether anybody will be dumb enough to do it.
What does the P stand for? I don't remember.
That's the one word I don't say. I say them all, almost all.
Oh, really?
It's a short list of ones I won't say.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll be sure not to say it.
I don't. It's just so like aggressive, and they use a lovely lady part and they turn it into something like aggressively vulgar. And I decline to participate.
Well, I want to agree with you on one thing. It is a lovely lady part, but I want to continue and say that that the most amazing thing to me is we have these conversations, and you see them with, bozos like Steve Schmidt and Chuck Todd about, the president's age and should Jake Tapper write this book and Biden, blah, blah, blah. We shouldn't have done this. We shouldn't have done that. Donald Trump is giving Democrats a lot of openings. It doesn't matter if you agree with them or not. There's just a lot of openings because there's a lot happening. What are they doing in response? I mean, where is the political strategy here? When like, we're going to have like noisemakers and we're going to throw egg crates and like, what are you talking about? Seriously, you've had the time now to assimilate this defeat from November. Notice, by the way, that Donald Trump is actually keeping his promises in an aggressive way, some of which I agree with and some of which I don't. But, the way in which he's handling it, Elon Musk, all this stuff, there's so many openings. I see people burning Tesla chargers in towns that are, one away from where I grew up, but I don't see a lot of strategy when it comes to policy and when it comes time to fighting back. I mean, you notice MSNBC, they're like, all right, we're going to get rid of Joy Reid, and then we're going to replace her with another Joy Reid, right? And this is like all these people, it's like the exact same strategy you guys had for the previous Trump administration and the previous 4 years of Joe Biden in which you fought the future Trump administration. I mean, I don't see any strategy here from Democrats whatsoever.
They don't have one. The most they've come up with is organizing like Move On to send some nasty protesters to some of these Republican town halls to make it seem like Republicans and are very mad at Republicans. And maybe there are some Republicans, but for the most part, these are Democrat operatives showing up at Republican town halls to yell at them. Yes. Okay. Hold on. This is Politico. Let me see. Where is it? Politico. Large scale disruption is still unlikely tonight. Some lawmakers have privately discussed walking out as an entire caucus during the speech or wearing pink hats in protest, but there's less enthusiasm for such demonstrations than in the past years. Kmele, they just can't get excited about wearing all white or wearing the pink pea hats tonight. Maybe there will be a couple of brave souls who will do it. We'll have to tune in to find out. Do you think that's really going to move the electorate in favor of their party?
I think bringing back the pink hats is about the only chance that they have tonight. And they just should find the strength within themselves to get those things someplace. I'm sure that the Trump administration would be trembling with fear if he had to stare into the gallery and saw nothing but a sea of
what
pink
are these
hats again. I mean, they are flailing. They are flailing at a time when they really ought to be getting their stuff together. And the fact that, AOC and what's the other, what's Congressman Jasmine Sullivan or something like that? Crockett.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the two most prominent Democrats in America at the moment. That is not a good thing by any stretch of the imagination. They seem to be on their back foot when they're not, airing conspiracy theories about the worst possible imaginable thing that Elon Musk is imagined to be doing with Doge. They're just utterly quiet. It's just very, very strange. There are a plethora of things that they could be talking about and that they could be agitating about. I think the president has had any number of important victories, but he's also done lots of things that they could actually be out in the field criticizing, and they're just not doing a great job in opposition.
No, they're not. And so I knew you were coming, so we checked out The View today, and here was their recommendation for how their team should handle tonight's address.
I think they should walk out en masse.
Naked or clothed?
Naked. Naked would be good.
Naked or clothed.
I mean, they should walk out, or is there going to be a laugh track, by the way? I think they should walk out. I think that a picture is worth 1,000 words.
I agree with you, Joy, to a certain extent. I actually don't think that they should show up at all.
Okay,
I think
I'll go with that too.
I think that when history resurfaces the photos of this first speech in this abnormal presidency, he said he was going to be a dictator from day one, and we warned about the demise of our democracy and the rise of fascism, and I think we've seen it in the first days of his presidency. I think the record will show that the room was half empty.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
There's a proposal.
I mean, just with the absolute worst advice. Like, fascism is on the rise, it's on the march, and we didn't show up.
Yeah,
that is the advice.
exactly.
Incredible.
Yeah,
but also floating the
away.
idea that maybe Chuck Schumer will be naked. So just have that in your brain.
It's
Is
I'm tuning in for
reaping
that.
the
I'm gonna watch
whirlwind he
that.
talked about? Because that really would make me behave differently.
But
You mentioned Jasmine Crockett. Can I just give you a word on her? There were all sorts of reactions to the Zelensky-Trump Oval Office meeting. Hers began as follows. In short, bullies ain't shit.
bullies ain't.
That qualifies as her, I guess, sophisticated political analysis from an elected representatives. Bullies ain't shit. Oh, okay. Thank you, madam.
Congresswoman Cardi B. Yeah, that's great. Actually, Cardi B would be a little bit more eloquent. But
She might make it rhyme. I don't know. But yeah, that's the level of political discourse. I mean, I do think Trump, he's got an opportunity tonight, because usually at this point, the reason they don't call it a State of the Union address is because when it's your first year in office, you've only been there for a few weeks and you usually haven't gotten anything done. And my God, not the case at all. I mean, just the Lake and Riley Act would be reason enough to hold this address and get into the specifics of what's happened at the border. The reports are, and Trump has been saying that the numbers are down more than 100% at the border. The latest is that we're down 94% of crossings at the border. I mean, it was like almost 200,000 a month this time last year, and it's down to 8,000 a month this year. I mean, it's incredible what he has sealed up the border almost as much as is humanly possible. But there's so much beyond the executive order. This is just an extraordinary presidency so far in terms of volume and the number of things that, some might have predicted this older, perhaps tired, second go at it president could possibly get done. He's governing like his life depends on it with the number of things going on. So I think it's actually going to feel and sound very much like a victory speech. You don't go out and buy a life jacket when the boat is sinking. And you don't buy gold when the economy has already collapsed. Clearly, others are heeding this advice as gold hit all-time highs already this year. It's not too late for you, too. And you could have Birch Gold help you diversify into physical gold. Birch Gold specializes in helping you convert an existing IRA or 401k in whole or in part into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, and for no money out of pocket. One recent 5-star review said Birch Gold was, quote, knowledgeable, helpful, non-pressure. Get your free info kit on gold by texting the letters MK to the number 989898. There is no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and countless 5-star reviews, text MK to 989898 and let the experts at Birch Gold help you secure your future today with gold. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.